Okay, so welcome everyone to this session. And today I'll be covering data-driven content generation and techniques, and not just to create ads, but also to create any kind of digital content you can create. So the things that I will be covering is I will first give a quick introduction of my background, and there will be two parts. So the first part is about how you can craft that digital strategy, because it's good that I will introduce tools to you, but you will need that strategy to incorporate the various parts in the various platforms that I'm going to share. And then most importantly, the highlights of today's session, the one that I highlighted in red will be, I'll be introducing AI content generation tools, which means it is able to help you to create text, content, images, videos in a relatively shorter amount of time using artificial intelligence and their data platform, which I will share later on. So digital marketing, internet marketing, or even social media marketing has been a buzzword in the recent time, right? Because of the current situation. And it's actually a huge topic. So if you look at here, right, at the internet marketing tree, there are many things from many branches. You can see there are also social media marketing, email marketing, search engine, and there are various stuff. And today I will be focusing more of my sharing at the root of this tree, which if you look downwards, things like how could you come up with relevant content to crowd the strategy, and at the same time, the purpose of this is to strengthen the root. So you can think about this: if the root is not strong, the branch will be quite tough if you later share in all these platforms. So that is my focus for today. So before I start, I would like to start off sharing with fun fact. This fun fact is that the amount of users, the amount of time that this platforms has reached out to 50 million users has tremendously reduced throughout the years. So for example, for airlines, 64 years, to television, 22 years. Computers took 14 years to reach 50 million users. Internet took 7 years. Facebook took 4 years to reach 50 million users. WeChat, the equivalent of Facebook in China, took just 1 year to reach 50 million users. However, there's still one more application that's even faster than WeChat to reach more than 50 million users in less than a year. Anyone want to make a guess what apps is that? So I can give you a hint. This application, most of you would either hear before or even use it before. Okay, let me review. So this app took 19 days, Pokemon Go. And that's why it's a fun fact. But at the same time, it's actually true. Okay, this statistic is based on last year. So like one of you mentioned that it's Zoom, right? So it might be. So when they refresh the statistic for next year, when they based on this year, it might be Zoom, even faster than 19 days. And why do I show you this? Later, you will see the rationale behind why Pokemon Go. There's actually a lot of digital marketing strategy that we can adopt and apply in our campaign. So keep this chart in mind first. So since some of you mentioned Zoom, I also let you show you one slide about Zoom. Zoom has been rapidly increased. So in fact, the reason why I'm sharing with you all this information through Zoom right now says something about the platforms. So right now I will do a brief introduction about my background before I share more about the tools that you can use to create data-driven content. So actually, a lot of people ask me whether the owl on my shoulder is real. It's actually real. I took it in Japan some years ago. And hi everyone, my name is Jackson, and I graduated from Temasek Polytechnic as well as SMU. So my background is in computing. So my passion is pretty much using data, using information technology to derive insights. So that has been my passion. And then I started two companies. So the first company I started during my undergraduate days is called Tech Society. It's still running out. So what we are is we are a technology academy that trains and develop future-ready skills, or rather current skills that is in high demand. So things like data analytics, digital marketing is one of them, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and so on. And then in 2018, I was fortunate to be selected under this program called the Singapore Valley Awards, in short SVA. And part of this program, it sent me to Alibaba headquarters with this opportunity to deepen my knowledge in the Chinese market, as well as spend a summer there. So during this program, I was also very fortunate to have the opportunity to meet the co-founders of Alibaba and actually learn a lot through this entire experience. So upon returning, I was quite inspired by my experience over there. So I've set up another startup called One Byte, where I help companies facilitate trade as well as e-commerce between China and Southeast Asia. And yep, that's basically my quick background. I also do some advisory and consulting work at the site. So my background is basically in digital business. Not just in data, digital marketing, as long as, let's say, if any one of you are interested in technology, after this session, you can also approach me to find out more. So these are some of the programs that we run beyond Singapore in other nearby countries. Okay, so that's the quick introduction of my background. So right now I'm going to show you a short video, and you notice the transition in this video. Okay, so anyone is a fan of Hai Di Lao? Okay, so the reason why I'm showing this video, right, is later on, if you do focus on the transition just now, whenever there's a new screen or a new set of background that comes up, it always comes with a transition text. So later I'm going to introduce this tool called Lumen 5, where we'll have some hands-on to let you create this kind of effects of video. In fact, this kind of, I call it the bite-sized video, is very popular to promote anything. Can be for your products, can be for anything you want to promote in the digital space. Okay. So before I go into the first tool, I want to share some one of the things that I saw over when I was in China that's actually quite interesting. So it's this thing called O2O. So about combining the online and offline space to drive user engagement. So how you can interpret this thing is something like a map, something like a standing broad jump map. So the further you jump, the more discount you get. And definitely they have certain things to prevent you from abusing the system. So if you jump too short of the distance, you will need to pay more than what you have eaten for. So these are implemented in some of the restaurants over there. Okay, so now back to digital marketing. So when we create content, whether is it text, images, and video, we want to bring them from this discovery stage to consideration stage, and eventually leads them to decision stage. So all these are theories, right? So what do I mean by that? So let me give you an example. So awareness stage, when people don't know about us, don't know what we offer or what we do, we want to give them certain things to entice them to find out more. And it's not just about giving free or just offering discount, because people don't know what we're offering yet, unless you're offering something that people really want. So things like you can give some samples of your products, or right now there's very popular giving out like a checklist and certain kind of things. But then once people are aware of what you offer, then they move to this consideration stage, where we will give certain catalogs and as well as things to let them consider at that stage. And then the last stage is about the decision stage, where they will make decision. That's where you offer coupons and stuff. And then this is important because right now to attract user online, most people would use this like social media to attract users because the users are always there. And then the number one question, or rather the $1,000,000 question, is how do we attract users online, right? We know about these stats. It's important for us to create content online. So just now, remember, I showed this at the start of the presentation. And then why do I show it? Because there are certain digital marketing lessons to be learned over here. One of the reasons that this app is able to garner so much users is because they are very laser focused in the targeting. And then people born in the 80s and the 90s, okay, including myself, we grew up with this. So when they have this kind of targeting efforts, it is relatively easy for them to target. And then if you look at the statistics, right, if we split by income level, because those 80s and the 90s kids has really grown up, they actually have purchasing power. So it's not just playing the application for fun. They actually have the purchasing power to get that to let's say buy more credits and get certain stuff. And then if you can see at the age group, you can see that most is also falling at the age range between 18 all the way to 50, as there is a wide range as well. So certain companies also use this opportunity to create campaigns, so such as offering car parks, offering beer if you catch Pokemon in that store. So for the more entrepreneurial ones, some offer power banks as well as data, so that people can buy that to engage and activate people. So these are certain campaigns. So Singapore always have these smart nation plans, right? So you want to be shipping hub, back then from financial hub, air hub, and then becoming technology hub. And what does technology hub really means is to be connected whether we are online and offline. So the very first tool that I'm going to introduce to all of you is this tool called Remove BG. So for those who have your computer or even your phone with you, go to this link right now. And before you go to this link, maybe let me introduce what this tool does. So this tool allows you to remove the background. That's why it's called Remove BG. BG stands for background. So that you can insert alternative background or different color. Like let's say if you want to launch a product, you want to put it on the brochure. If you just take a photo of let's say of the t-shirt, it might look a bit raw and it's not suitable for digital content. And then these two enable you to do editing as well as putting it into different contexts for free. So let me do a quick demo of how it works. So if you have your computer, you can also follow me. Okay. So once you are at Remove BG, if you have an image, you can upload your own image or any image. If you don't, you can also try the existing image here. So like, let's say I select this car. So the original image, if it's a bit laggy, but basically you can try it on your site. So once you remove the background, you will see something like that. And then not beyond just removing the background, right? You want to add in certain effects. So let's say I want to insert this car into a brochure, for example. Okay. So assuming I want to put into brochure, you can select different colors as well as different, if you select photo, you can actually have different background. And once you are done with all these effects, you just download, and then that is the photo file that you have. You can put it in slides, in words, in any kind of form. So this is Remove BG, the very first tool. So what is digital marketing in a sense? And there are many definitions to that, especially right now is the key thing. So this is the official definition, so I will not read out. You can find out more in the internet. And throughout running certain campaigns and running certain tags as well as coming out with content, I realized this unofficial, my definition. So it's not just doing more or do better, but actually do together. So we want to co-create that content experience together with our audience. And later I will share how we can do that. And we want to transform from DIY slash DIFY model. It stands for do it yourself, do it for you model, to DIWY. DIWY means do it with you model. And then we talk about how we can convince and convert our online customers to online audience to your users or customer, which is the business development side of things. So most marketing messages cover the first 4 points well, especially digital message, such as what they are selling, what they are doing, the product, the standard, the place, the promotion, the price. And actually the last point is generally weaker. And then it's up and rising, which stands for, the fifth P stands for people. So why do our customer or you even care about the cost or the things that you want to do? And then this is actually very important, because especially online, we only have one chance to promote, because we will not be there, unlike physical face-to-face, to clarify any confusion or things that people might have. And then there are certain ways that we can position our message. There are things like story, facts and figures, because while facts and figures tell, story sells, so we must learn to sell it well. So later I will also show you some tools how you can put all these things together. So like what I shared, marketing online, and you only have one chance. So we want to focus less on the description of the features. So though it's good to have to share with people what we are doing, but it's more important for us to focus more on what the user or customer gain by using our product. So we want to focus at what is more important. So like, let's say today I want to start a crowdfunding platform to get people to support a certain cause. I would want to address the pain point or address the certain gain, like for example, a risk-free way, or like a mobile versatile reminder. So these are the gains that people are looking for, that will attract attention when they read through certain text. And then I have a graphic to illustrate my point over here. So how you can interpret this cartoon is like, on the left, trying this Mickey Mouse tell this Mickey Mouse that trying to convince people just doesn't work. And then the other Mickey Mouse replied that sure it does. And then the other Mickey Mouse replied, see. So the point here is not to convince, because in the online space we only have one choice, one chance. So we don't want to do like convince. We want them to interact with our content because it's useful, it's relevant to them. So I have an example over here. There's a difference between selling and marketing. And then this is very important. So for example, selling is more from a first person perspective, which means it's all about you. So an example is like, let's say we have the best grass seed in the world. That's about you. Unless you are already a famous brand or something established, then it's okay to do this kind of marketing message. But however, if you are just starting it out, you want to raise awareness on the marketing side, on the right, you will want to write your marketing text as the 3 simple tips to the greenest launch in the neighborhood. Essentially, two are targeting the same audience, but then on the right, people will understand what is the value of what you are offering. So another example is like, for example, 5 proven ways of making a side income even with a full-time job. Yeah. And however, you can see on the left, it's all about the company, all about them. And the other example is like, we have over 80 providers with the lowest energy rates. And then on the right, discover 5 simple ways to reduce your monthly home living expenses by as much as $700. So that is the start difference between these two. So how do we come up with this kind of marketing message? But before I go into the text part, I want to run through some numbers, and later you will see how all these come together. So if you think about it, right, when we promoting things online, running online advertisements, or rather even offline advertisement, but this is more applicable for online, it's not so much about selling up to customer. So because when you run certain advertisement, you are incurring a budget, right? You're paying a certain platform, for example, paying Facebook, paying like, let's say, Google to run advertisement. And then you're in the hopes that they engage with your content, with your text, and then they come in to either buy your product or do certain call to action. So if you think about it, it's about like buying customer in a sense. And this is an important mindset shift, because later, if you know that this is about buying customers, it is about understanding the math behind it. So one of the key numbers that you will need to keep in mind is this thing called customer lifetime value, which is the amount of revenue a customer will generate over the lifetime to your business or to your products. So give you an example. Like let's say among all users, they spend $10 average spend per month. Over 20% of customers that do not come back per month. That comes out with $50 lifetime value. So it means that over a lifetime, your customer will spend about $50 to you. And then your aim is to increase the lifetime value as much as possible. So the first example that you can increase the lifetime value is you want to increase the average spend of the user every month. So like let's say increase from $10 to $12. And then the other one is to reduce the number of customers that is not coming back. Both will increase the customer lifetime value. And then why is this important? Is because for this, you will understand per user economics. So I give you a simple example here. So assuming today, right, you want to run an online advertisement. So like, let's say you spend $1,200 and then you receive 40,000 impressions. Assuming we are running this on Facebook, for example, assuming you have received 40,000 impressions. So impression means eyeball, so how many people look at your advertisement. And then not everyone who look at the advertisement will click, right? So the industry average right now is actually quite low because of the deep competition. Everyone is shifting online right now. So like let's say assuming 4% click. So out of that 40,000 people who look at it, then not everybody look at it would convert to, let's say, to sign up on your platform, or right now if you are running an e-commerce stores to buy something. So let's say we just take like 1/4, 25% convert to become a user. And if you do the math, let's say you spend $1,200 to get one user to on board to sign up, you get the user acquisition cost to get them on board is $3 to $5. So like, let's say today you are an aspiring entrepreneur, or you want to create a certain platform. You promise investors, or you want to grow your user database from like 1,000 users to let's say 5,000 users. If you know that getting one user on board is $3 to $5, and then you can extrapolate that advertisement cost, and then you will know that how much you need to spend to get that 2 times or 3 times number of growth. So for this user acquisition cost is for you to understand, find out where your user is, and then attract them to come in, eventually for them to sign up as a user or as a buyer. So all these numbers will come together now. So like, let's say, so the reason why I'm going through these numbers, right, is actually all these data, right, is very valuable when we craft content. So crafting content is not just attractive, not just only about being attractive, capture attention, but it's also being about data driven, which is the core sharing of today, right? So if we don't focus on the data and we just run attractive content, sometimes it might work, sometimes it might not work. So I give you an example here. So over here, an example of the top 10 evergreen market. So evergreen market means at any point in time on the internet, people are searching for all this stuff like fitness, weight loss, pets, self-improvement, well-building, etc. And then let me take pets as an example. So right now ranking at number 2 is actually cats. On the searches, the popularity of searches, 88.3 million. Anyone want to make a guess which pets is ranking at number 1? It's also an animal. It's actually fish, 142 million. Dogs is actually ranking at number 3. So that's my point over here. So like, let's say assuming today you venture into the animals category. Let's say you want to promote animals, or you want to start animals platform. You want to focus on a certain niche. So based on intuition, based on feel, you might feel that, okay, dogs is a very popular search, and you go ahead with dogs. But actually based on data, so these are actually data collected online. The most popular animals that people are searching worldwide is actually fish, 142 million. So I'm not also saying that if you focus on dogs, you might not succeed, but it's actually showing that actually data sometimes can reveal insights that is counterintuitive. And it's very important when we take all these into factors when we create our digital advertisement. So data is the new oil. We need to find it, extract it, refine it, and distribute it, and then monetize it. And that is theory, right? So how do we find these ideas from data-driven content? Essentially 2 things. What other people want and what we can offer. That's the sweet spot that we are looking for. So the next tool that I'm going to introduce with all of you is called answerthepublic.com. So this one I will not exit and do a demo. So if you have a computer, you can just go to this link. And then by typing on this search bar, similar to how you use Google, you can change the country to the country of interest. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I set it to Singapore. You can discover what people are really searching for. So like I give you an example. So for example, weight loss. If I'm interested to come up with a digital advertisement about losing weight, and I can't think of what kind of content or what kind of headlines that I want to create. By coming to this tool, it will generate the kind of headlines that people are already searching for online, which are based on popularity. So for example, popular things that people are searching for is how can I lose weight if I can't exercise? So if I'm running an advertisement or running certain content that's just addressing this point, there's a high chance of me engaging with the pool of audience. And there are still a lot of other things people are searching for. For example, tips lose weight for beginners, as well as how you can lose weight like during pregnancy and other example. And then you can really package your products and services to address this pain point. Yeah, and then this is just the lose weight example. You can type in any topics of interest. You can see what people are already searching for online. And these are actually called headline, or rather attractive headlines. What I want to highlight over here is not always about being free. So one of the most popular ways that a lot of online ads are doing right now is to offer free content or like heavily discount products or services, even though it is effective. But after a while, if everyone is doing the same, it might not resonate with the user. So it's not always about being free, but it's also about securing what they are interested about. So that tool actually helps you to do that. So headline is also known as the hook. So we want to tell audience what they can get from us in a few words. So for example, how to lose 10 kg of body fat while eating delicious chocolate cakes. So if you love chocolate cakes and you don't want to gain weight, you would be interested to find out more. And then my advertisement can go ahead and type things like basically, here's how you can like have your favorite chocolate cake while not gaining weight. And then these are 3 simple steps. Step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, etc. And then there's a high chance of this particular group of users who are already interested in this topic wanting to go in and find out more. And that's how we attract our users. And then there's also another tool to assist you to do that. So this is an AI matching tool for us to create meaningful content. So why this tool is interesting is that they use advanced text mining technology, and then they have this vast database of historical content based on what they can find online to help people come up with the content that is relevant as well as efficient. So they have trained tens of thousands of or even millions of ads, product descriptions, social media posts, and then they also give you predictive engagement score of the copy. So how it works is like, for example, you look at the bottom left, the keywords beauty. So like, let's say if you are in the beauty industry. So if your advertisement or your content has this sentence, add this gentle cleanser to your beauty routine and say goodbye to stubborn blackheads, the chance of people engaging with this piece of content is rated at 93% based on the data that they have scanned through all the social media platforms. And then this is just one example. You can type other keywords, other things to find out more. So this is the platform you go to. It's called kiwi.co/marketers. It's on beta now. So it's a free tool. So do go and check it out. So this tool require some sign in. But basically it's still a search tool, and then there are other things that you can tweak based on the engagement score. So for this, I will not do a demo because I want to keep a highlight, which is the video creation part later. So for this tool, after the session, you can go in and find out more about how it can help you generate AI-driven content. So next time when you create content or you don't have inspiration, what kind of headline, what kind of text, you can come to place or answer the public just now that place to find inspiration. And definitely, I'm not saying that you should copy it 100%, because if everyone use the similar content 100%, then it's not effective, right? But at least it gives you an idea based on data as well as based on engagement that other people are already doing that is getting results, and how you can further modify as well as improve to get the result that you want. Because what matters to customers nowadays, other than price, which is quite standard for almost all kinds of products and services, is also the product range as well as the user experience. Because the product range and price pretty much, normally we are controlled by the market as well as the resources that we have, but actually user experience, we can do something about it. So far, as you can see, like these tools allow us to actually customize a very unique customer experience or user experience, and then user will feel that you will really know what I'm looking for. This is exactly what I need, and you are addressing it at that point, at that time. So there's this thing called the internet trifecta, which is the combination of content, community. Commerce stands for business, and commerce. So the internet trifecta is a combination that how you can use this critical mass of these three things, these three things together, and then come out with relevant content as well as engagement. Because the web is getting more social nowadays. So from 90s is about browsing, then to searching, and right now people are actually discovering. And when they are discovering, let's say they are on social media platforms, they don't want to see yet another like advertisements, but actually things that they really care about. And then all these tools that I introduced just now reveal certain insights and information about all these users, what they are interested in. And most importantly, it's a free tool, so do go and maximize what it lasts. So it's also transforming from one-to-one to a social kind of environment. So there's this graphic. So back then, people tell us not to get in a car with strangers. And then 2008, people said don't need people from the internet alone. The Uber / Grab, Gojek era, we actually order ourselves a stranger from the internet to get into a car with alone, if you think about it. So the web today is being rebuilt by people and then disrupted by social. So we want to leverage on all this to make use of the things that we want to do, especially in the digital space. And then one of the more effective ways is to have infographics, because infographics actually has emerged as one of the most popular and shareable form of social content. Why? Because right now internet is flooded with information. So getting information off the internet is like taking a drink from a fire hydrant based on this graphic. So it's easy to digest. And then infographics allow us to read very quickly in just 1/10 of a second to process a visual scene. So for example, this. So in a crowded media scene, especially digital space right now, a group graphic stands out. So infographics are everywhere, but so everyone, if you know certain tools, there are some graphical tools that helps you to create infographics, but it's not easy to make it well. So there are certain things that is already proven and tested that work well, which attract people attention. So things like the first one, like listicle. So for example, 10 workout myths busted, or 10 things that you thought is true, but it's not. That kind of content work well. Timelines over the years, like I say, phone transformation over the years, let's say food industry over the years. Then the other one is about statistic information, visual information. So example, connecting random but connected statistics in a visual graphic that highlight a trend. So this is more like a visual kind of showcase. And then the myth example, and myth versus fact kind of format is actually very popular, and it's easier to implement. Like assuming that you have no idea like let's say today, if we have no idea to create what kind of content. And then sometimes you need to create very complicated content. So just now, those content are slightly more complicated, right? So actually, do you know that it's faster to say World Wide Web than it is to say www? So simple content like this and could able to attract attention. Let's say you are in the space of like internet and digital space. So if you are in the F&B space, you might want to share things like temperature guide. So most importantly, you want to design it with intention. So don't overly create the things just because you want to. Okay, so for this, I will not do a demo as well. So I believe some of you might heard of it. So there's this tool to help you. Let's say you are not a design person, but you want to create just now what I have just shown. So there's this place that you can go to. It's called Canva.com. So inside, not only you can create infographics, but you can also create many kind of attractive, not content, but more of design to help in your content generation. So similarly for text, there's this place you can go to. It's called HemingwayApp.com. So today when we write content, right, especially online, attention span is very short. So we don't want to write it overly complicated. We want to be very precise. And then it's actually very hard to do because if you are very precise, you might leave out important information. Then you want to be as comprehensive as possible, right? But you also don't want to be overly complicated. And what do I mean by complicated? It's not necessarily long. I mean long, but it is actually hard to read. So there's this place you can go to check your text. So you just have to paste whatever text that you have written or created onto here. And then if it is highlighted in red, it means it's very hard to read. And then if you look at the second paragraph, if they highlight in this color, like for example, you can utilize that utilize words. Actually, there's an easier alternative word you can use. So something like a synonym, a simpler synonym. For example, you can use, instead of using these words. So putting your content copy here before running all sort of ads online actually helps because you make it your communication clear, unless you are sharing something really technical that you need to use slightly more complicated words. Okay, so today this is the tool that I would like all of you, if you have a computer, to do it with me. So before you go to this place, lumen5.com, let me show you a quick video of how this video creation tool does.
Lumen 5 is a video creation platform driven by artificial intelligence and machine learning. Using our platform, you can easily turn any blog post into a video. To create a video, simply enter a link to a blog post or news article. Using natural language processing, Lumen 5 will automatically create a storyboard for you. We then use machine learning to match each scene with media files that are relevant to your content. The length of each scene is algorithmically determined based on the amount of text on display. Text positioning is intelligently calculated based on the scene composition to make sure everything looks great. Important keywords are highlighted as well. Our built-in media library contains over 100 million assets, and you can use these with a simple drag and drop. Within a few minutes, your video is ready to be shared across your social channels. Video posts on social media get 12 times more engagement than photos and text combined. Lumen 5 has helped over 200,000 businesses create over 1 million videos. To start making your own videos, get started with a free account today.
Okay, so for those who want to follow, go to lumen5.com. So while you are going there, let me share with you what this tool does. So this tool is especially useful when you are creating bite-sized video. So things like if you want to post on your stories, or like some certain kind of bite-sized video, like let's say 30 seconds, and you want to capture attention. So the attractiveness of this tool is that it creates that effects without you actually doing anything. Like let's say if you have content or a blog post that you have already written. So based on what you have written, they will actually select relevant background image together with relevant text to run that transition for you. So once you are there, you sign up an account, wait for me. And then this is especially useful for a bite-sized video like I mentioned. So let me go there as well. Okay, so once you have an account, okay, so once you are there, when you create an account, you will be at the dashboard. So to start a video, you just need to click new video. So if you have a blog post or even any website that has content, you just have to paste it on the link over here, and then you just click go, and then they will analyze that to create a short video for you. So this is the sign up link that Scape have. So by putting this link, then there are various effects. So I choose the smart. You can preview the video. Yeah, so this is just a quick example. So like if you have a website, generally it will create more content. So I let you see one of the website video that I created for my own company. Yeah, I think all of you get the idea. So for those who are familiar with Canva, this is something like video, but something like Canva but for video. And then if you want to change certain things, because the AI-driven content or text might be a bit long sometimes because they are based on the text that you have written. So if you want to change certain things like color, text, you can easily just change it over here. Yeah, you can just change it, and then including the background, you can just select from the media files as well as the music. Yeah, but the very first time that you insert the link, all that will be automatically generated, and that's the beauty of this tool. Okay, so that's Lumen 5, and I hope even after this session you will go back and try more. There are more functions inside, but this is the gist of it, to create bite-sized video with ease. So something like the Haidilao video that we watched at the start, that kind of transition is actually very possible to create in this platform. So many other companies or other stories that I saw online running advertisement, they use similar style as well, which I believe some of them might use this tool or other similar tools out there. So why do I spend like quite some time on sharing that data, where we can interpret our numbers, is because all these help us to create accessible and quality content. So just now at the start, I share with all of you that digital marketing tree, right? So if our root is not strong, even with, let's say we post on Facebook, we post on Instagram, it will not fly because that is just a branch. So we want to create accessible as well as a quality content. Then we move to the next stage about getting the targeted audience that we want, before we talk about how we can build certain links, as well as the last part, the social part. So too often, many people jump straight into the first part. So it's about social engagement. It's about how we can engage on, let's say, on Facebook, on Instagram, or choosing the platforms. That is actually the final stage. So the bottom stage is about forming that relevant content, giving that content that our users are interested to find out for. Because the first question that we always want to ask ourselves is like, who do we want to serve? Who is, and what kind of result we want to help to generate? And to put in a simpler form, is like we want to adopt the 5W and 1H method, which means we want to start with the what, and then we want to elaborate with the why, when, who, where, and further strengthen the answer with the how. So too often when we write certain content, we go straight to the how, and then some of the audience might not see the relevancy in it, because in a lot of cases that if our why is not clear, then the how doesn't really matter. So it's very important for us to build content step by step. But understandably, building content is not easy. So I can also share with all of you, I'm not the creative type as well. So to come up with very, very attractive and as well as design impactful content is difficult for me as well. But I'm very interested in data. So I have this interest in using data and then make sense of this data, then do certain things online. Can be digital marketing, can be making sense of certain data to assist in business operation. So don't be discouraged if like your design is not nice per se, because the more important part is being relevant first. Then nice is to complement to make that thing a whole. So this will be my last few slides. So like to summarize, just now I mentioned that today I've covered the content as well as a bit of branding. So because of this short time we have together, so I hope that I have shared all the valuable bits that I condensed for my sharing. So I hope you find this all these tools that I shared useful, as well as some of the strategy that you can start implementing today. So let me see. Correct. Yep, I've come to the end. So I think the next session will be the next step. The next part will be Q&A. So if you have any question, please write in the text box, and I will be happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Jackson. Yeah, if anybody has any
And stay in
questions,
touch. Yeah, let me on social media
yeah,
platforms.
please
Mm.
do. Yes, you can follow and connect with him on LinkedIn if you have any additional questions. I'm sorry, I don't know why my camera is blue. I look blue, but yeah. Does anybody have any questions for Jackson about what he shared or any of the platforms as well? Yeah, please put them in chat. If not, we did have a question, so maybe I'll just open up. We did have a question that came in from our attendees via the Zoom registration. And one thing they asked was, is it possible to advertise a product that may not be popular to Singaporeans? Yeah, so how would you go about it? Or would you even recommend to do that?
Okay, so actually, in that approach, can be both pros and cons. So the pros is because it's not popular means it's not competitive, right? Let's say he want to like promote it to Singaporean, so which means that he or she is promoting something new. And then the cons is there might not be any demand. So some of the tools that I shared might not be applicable because people are not searching for it. But then he or she can create that demand. So like even the product is not popular in Singapore, you can actually share, like for example, in one of the slides, I also shared that you can share with them what is the benefits, what is the gain. Like for example, what is the gains of using my product versus other product out there. Because since it's not popular in Singapore, then you explain why it's maybe popular overseas. So these are also some of the strategy the person can adopt.
I see. Okay, very cool. Yes, thank you so much. Does anybody have any other questions for Jackson?
Yeah, I have a question from Alice. My
Oh,
favorite tool.
yes.
Yes. So actually, I have a favorite tool for different purpose. But if I were to state one, actually, my favorite one is Lumen 5. Yeah, so it really helps to save a lot of time to create videos.
Very cool. Okay. So if there are no more questions, I will be closing the session. So yes, if anything, please connect with Jackson. Once again via LinkedIn. I think he'll be more than happy to help you guys out and explain a little bit more on the different tools that he uses. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. And I will keep the room open for another 5 minutes or so, just in case you have any other questions that come into mind. If not, I will close the session after that. Yeah, thank you guys. Good night and
Thank
go
you,
have
everyone.
great dinner.
Have a great weekend,
Yeah.
upcoming weekend.